What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show today. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear the volume okay. Let me know as we're getting started here. I had to push this back a little bit. I was hoping to get started a little earlier, but I haven't been feeling very good today. But I had some important stuff to share, and I wanted to get that out there to you guys as well. All right, can you guys hear me okay? Let me know in the chat there. All right, so today we're going to be talking about what silver and gold to avoid at all costs, and why is that important. Now, when I say avoid this at all costs, it really comes down to not stacking this stuff. You could have some of this into your collection, into your stacks, but I recommend not having very much of it. Okay, so we're going to go over some very specific coins today. I'm going to show you guys that. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to switch it over to this camera here. And hopefully it'll focus okay for us. It's not my favorite thing with StreamYard. A lot of times it just doesn't focus very well, but we're going to be working on that too for you guys. So if you can hear me okay, if you could put a 1 in the chat, that would help me know that the sound's working okay. I have to kind of rig it to get a second camera in here. All right. So a couple things I want to point out that I do not recommend going after, because it can be kind of pricey for you guys, is things like this. Okay. So this is the Ultra Breaks. I'm not saying not to buy these. I'm saying you don't want to stack these, especially if you're going for weight, but they can be fun to have. Okay. But the reason I say avoid these coins is they usually come with a pretty good premium, and a lot of times you're not going to get the amount you paid for it out of this. But this is one that was sent to me by a friend, and it's a pretty cool coin. So this is Australia Year of the Dragon. It's a 1/2 ounce pink MS70 PCGS, and let's see if we can focus on it. There, you guys can see it. So it is a cool coin. But this is definitely more of like a coin for your collection. It's not really going to be something you're going to go stack a bunch of these. Okay. So there's the first example. We'll talk about gold tariffs too today. We'll do that for sure today. All right. The next kind of silver I don't recommend stacking and avoiding at all costs, unless you're someone like me and you got some extra money and you're crazy, is a kilo stacker. Okay. These are really cool. Now, if you can buy them at the right price, then it's pretty fun. I don't have the St. Michael's one with me today. That one's back in storage, but the St. Michael's one, I was able to pick up for $900 back when silver was around, I want to say it was around like 26 bucks or so an ounce. This is the King Henry II shield, and it's even hard for me to get all the way into the screen for you guys, but the detail on this thing is incredible. You can get them in 1/2 ounces, you can get them in 2 ounces. This is the kilo, and here on the side, I don't know if it's going to focus for us. You guys can probably see it there. This is number 323 out of 333. Okay. It doesn't really stand up very well, so we're going to lay this one down, but it's very detailed. Now, I don't know what some of this stuff is. Like, I don't know what that is. Is that a demon? I don't know what that thing is. And we got something down here too. So it's a little sketch. I don't know what the Brits were doing there, but it's a really cool detailed piece, besides some of that symbolism I don't understand. But you're going to pay a lot of money for these kind of things. You might be right now paying about $2,000 for one of these kilos. So I would avoid that. All right, let me show you a couple other ones I would tell you guys to avoid. Okay, this one's pretty cool. I'm going to keep it in the wrapper because it's already in there. Well, I don't know. We'll keep it in there for right now. Hey guys, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and the like and subscribe if you guys haven't done so yet. I'll just throw it on the screen here to remind you. That'll get people seeing this. All right, this is a really cool coin, but it's something I wouldn't stack very many of. I just have one of them. Okay, so let me see if I can get enough detail on it. Here you go. This is a 2024 1 ounce Canadian maple leaf super incus. That's how you say it, and it's gilded in gold. So I don't know if you can you guys see? It's really like engraved, right? Inclus, I think is how you say it. But I got it because it was really cool. I saw it at the end of a coin show, and I was able to pick this up for quite a bit below retail. I think I got it like $100 below retail. But these are going to be pretty pricey. I think these run around $200 to $300. But there's not a lot of them. It is PF70. It's got the queen on the back, and they're kind of cool. So these are fun to get, but I definitely, I don't, recommend just stacking those. Okay. All right. I don't know which one of you turkeys asked me to show my entire stack, but that's something I'm probably never going to do since I show my face and I walk around my town. But I will show you guys some of the cool stuff in my stack. All right. You may not believe this, but I thought I had 16 ancestors on the Mayflower. It actually turns out that I have about 21, which is a little bit crazy. And so we're going to try one more thing here too. Let me try this view. Okay, this way you guys can see me up here too. Anyway, so all things Mayflower are kind of cool to me since that's a lot of my family history. This is a really cool set that came in, so you can see pilgrims there. And this is the 200, was it the 300-year anniversary? I think it's the 300-year anniversary of the Mayflower in 2020. So you guys can kind of see it there. And then here's the reverse of it. So this was the US coin. So that one's in dollars. And then this one is the British coin. And this one's got pounds on it. And this has the Mayflower on it. Yeah, 1620 to 2020. So that's pretty cool. So that's a coin I don't recommend stacking, and I would probably avoid it unless you have ancestors that came over on the Mayflower. Then it's kind of cool. All right. How are you guys doing today? What's on your mind? I've seen, go ahead and put questions in bold so that I know what I'm looking for, guys. And one other thing I want to throw out is the Slice Mentor program. If you guys want to get a hold of me for either one-to-one coaching, to see what my trades are. If you want to be a part of the buying club, go over and join this. I've taken everything else off YouTube except for the $3 membership. If you guys want to have the fun icons and help support the channel, this is another great way to support the channel and a great way to start exploring not just stacking. Well, get my secrets, pick my brain in the stacking. You have the ability to message me directly too. But it's also a way to start investing and figuring out how do I get more and more money, maybe even some yields from, precious metals versus just, holding them and watching them go up in value or potentially, getting cash flow from them. But go ahead and put things in there. Oh, my eyes are itching, guys. Okay. A couple others I just want to throw out that I don't recommend really stacking, but they're kind of fun. And so these are ones to kind of avoid for beginners, but these are Byzantine Empire coins right there. Okay, really gnarly looking silver. Can't really even tell what it is. And this is a widow's mite, by the way, for any of you guys that read the Bible. That's what a widow's mite looks like. Oh, let me go back. So this Byzantine Empire one is from 976 AD. The widow's mite is from 103 BC to 76 BC. And then we've got a Roman Empire, Claudius II, 268 AD. Okay, that one's kind of cool. And you really can't see much on these. And I'm not even sure what the content of these guys are. These might be, at that time, they're probably still 90% silver. But later on, these things started having a lot less silver in them. That's It's one of the reasons you have reeded edges on our coins, guys. And then here's another one from Roman Empire. This is 307 AD. Okay. So I don't recommend getting a lot of this, but this is cool, fun stuff. All right, let me see what questions you guys have in here and welcome you guys to the chat real quick. Jake's Custom Parts, welcome. Chris Ashby, what is up? I'm glad you guys can hear me. Liberty Bleeds Silver, welcome. John Hoddle. And then we've got OC Stacker is here. Congrats on all the good stuff. He finally was able to get a bank account set up for his new business. I think it took like 4 months. It's ridiculous. So one of these days we'll have him come tell the story. One good thing, though, is I actually have a 250-year anniversary Silver Eagle privy for the Army coming. I wasn't sure if it was going to come, and it looks like it's going to arrive tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited about that. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Stormy Gavin, welcome. You cannot spend that at the grocery store. However, it would be kind of fun to take, I don't know. It would be fun to go take one of these to the grocery store, Morgan Dollar, and just see what people think. Try to explain to them it's worth about 45 bucks. See if they take it. I doubt it. All right, let's see. I did see a question in here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, a lot of people do not like colorization stuff. It's kind of a special breed. I have very few coins that are colorized. And when they are, there's usually something that's, kind of meaningful to it. So I had a little short that just came out on some Star Wars ones I have that are like movie posters, which it kind of makes sense for it to be colorized. But yeah, I don't have very many of those. But those are kind of my collecting stack, really not something I'm going to hold on to or stack very much of it. Let's see here. Yeah, there was a question in here. So this can be really cool too. You can get coins that are also palladium. They do a maple leaf in that same like deep incus, where they'll have it be platinum covered. Yeah, this one's just gold, but they'll have them platinum, and then they'll have them also with rhodium, which is pretty cool. Okay, I know there was another question here. Oh yeah, that's what it was. Chris, what are going to be the impacts of gold and tariffs? Okay, well, we're going to talk about that in a minute here. Couple things I'm just going to point out to you guys too is stuff like this. You really don't want to go after grading stuff. And I bought this for the price of just a non-graded one. This came in as 69. It has no extra value being in this case versus just outside of it. But there you go. It's a peace dollar from CAC. There's another peace dollar. And these are the only 2 platinum coins I've got in my stack right there. But these are pretty cool coins, and I picked these up for, I think, $1,150 or around there. So they've gone up a lot in value, and they're not making them anymore. This is MS70 last year that they've made them. So those are kind of cool. All right, so let's talk gold for a second. I'll bring out a gold coin as we do that. Okay, so this is a gold eagle. Nothing terribly special about it. They make a lot of them. This is a type 1, and it's 1 ounce. This is going to be your best bet for gold and silver to get the best bang for your value, right, on price. All right, I'm going to move it back to the full screen because you're just getting my profile and all that stuff. Let's go bigger here. So this eagle here is going to be your best bang for your buck. This gold does not come from the U.S. So with the tariffs that are going on now, a lot of the gold and I think a good amount of silver is also tariffed coming out of Switzerland. And that's where a lot of it's refined. Okay, so for example, this is not 100% gold because it has some silver in it. So it's a little bit heavier than 1 ounce, but it does have an ounce of gold. If I want to refine this to 24 karat gold from 22, which this one is 22 here. It's also got kind of a proof-like finish to it, but you may or may not be able to tell the difference in the gold, but this definitely looks more pure than the Eagle does. But with that said, I think the cost could go up quite a bit on the raw materials. And so there'll probably be a little bit of a freak out on price of gold for a bit. But then I think what you're going to find is it'll settle down until supply starts to get moved out and they have to start importing gold at a much higher rate in order to create the planchets for the US Mint. So I would expect that you're going to see prices going up more over time, but it'll be a little bit of a stair step. That's kind of my answer to that. And we'll see what happens with it. I could be wrong. It could be a little different. Yeah, I think getting your pre-33 graded by PCGS is great. I'm going to show you guys some of this stuff too that I think you should avoid and be careful with, okay? Hopefully this isn't too loud. So I did pick this up at a coin show. This is another one of those Great Britain Mayflower ones, right? So someone traded this in, and there you go right there. And I had it graded. It came back as a 70, so I've increased the value of something like this because I didn't make very many of these. And it is a historical thing. So, you know, this is probably one you don't have to totally avoid, but I wouldn't get a whole bunch of them. I do have 2 of them now. All right. Okay, a couple that I would avoid and a couple that I actually would consider getting. And I'm going to show you here. So this is one that I would avoid unless you can get a great price on it. So this is the Liberty coin. So they've got the new sunflower one that's coming out, right? Well, the problem with the sunflower one, guys, is going to be the flipping price. It's going to be super skyrocket high on it. This one has a great looking eagle too, right there. And I think I am going to move over to a different service, guys, where I can actually stream a 4K camera, and then you can see these in way better detail. StreamYard doesn't let you do that. And I won't work with a second camera unless I just won't do it. So this is one I would avoid, but I picked this up for less than a gold eagle. So I got this for less than that. And this thing, I think, goes for about, $4,200 now, especially with it having its grade. All right, this is one that is okay to get if you can get the right price for them. This is a Toro. I had this one graded as well. And we've got a 70 back on this. I'm going to have my first video coming out with Tangible Investments. They're the company that got these graded for me. We're going to be doing quite a few videos with them. I highly recommend working with them if you have anything that needs to get graded. The founder of Tangible Investments is the co-founder of PCGS, and he just walks things in. And these coins got done in a week. I was able to get all these grades back. But this is the Spanish Toro or Bull, and it's a great coin unless you're overpaying for it. So to me, really, this is a coin that I would be paying, I might pay just a little bit more than an eagle because it's a reverse proof, but I wouldn't go much more than that. I picked these up for less than the price of gold eagles. And so I had them graded, the value's gone up, but I would not necessarily stack those unless you can get them at the right price. Okay, then we got this lady here. So this one here is a dumb, stupid, expensive coin, but it's awesome. And I bought this as kind of an investment. I might just end up holding on to it though. And, we've had a lot of fun with this guy. We've had her at the coin shows, and people really like how nice it looks. Now this one is actually a coin. The silver one is a round, and you can't see it, but it has inscriptions all on the outside of the coin here. It does not read at edges. And then it's got a really cool eagle. So this one does have some historical value to it because it matches with the first silver coin minted in the US. So you got that one too. To have another stand. I thought I had another stand. Where did I put it? I guess not. We'll just put her over here. Okay. All right, what else we got here? All right, so some other coins to kind of, be careful with. And I'm going to give you guys a couple examples here. I'm sorry, this is probably kind of loud. This one is going to be a MS64 Liberty Head 1900 pre-33. It's not a rare date, but it is a decent grade. The problem with that is you end up paying a little bit more for these, and you really don't get much of a benefit in the long term because it isn't a rare date. If this was a rare date, it probably would have already tripled in price. Pre-33 gold is my favorite. That's what I'm picking the most up of. One, it is exempt from any kind of confiscation. I know most people don't think that's going to happen, but you can't rule it out. Two, it's historical. They're not going to make these again. And number three, they are collectible. What I recommend though is keeping around an MS61 unless you're going for a rare date, and then expect to pay multiples above spot price for them. But you can get a lot of these for crazy great prices right now. For me, these have gone up a little bit, maybe 20%, whereas my bullion has basically doubled, gone up 100%. There will be a time where these will go way higher than bullion, but we're not there yet. So you gotta be careful with those guys. And this is a MS65 1910D St. Gaudens. I think that's probably the most iconic gold eagle that we have out there. So I wanted to show you guys a little bit of my stack there. Really when it gets into silver and gold, the best stuff you can be stacking out there are dimes. In my opinion, I'd get as many of these as you can. These are mercury dimes. You'll kind of notice it's full to about here on the top with mercuries. If you get newer dimes, the Roosevelt dimes are going to be pretty close to the top here. So you'd actually get maybe 2 more dimes worth of silver. So you just got to keep that in mind. You'll get a little bit less weight with these, but you do get something that looks quite a bit different than a current dime, which can be helpful too. And I think eagles are probably your best bet along with buffaloes. I don't know where the buffaloes are. I think they're back in the vault, but that's kind of what I'd go for. But I'd love to get your guys' comments and thoughts and what do you guys think? What kind of stuff are you stacking? What are you not stacking? Cap and stacks. I don't have the temperament to do a whatnot auction because I'm horrible at shipping stuff out. I still have hundreds of stickers. I don't want to ship them to people's addresses. It's just super hard to deal with the envelopes, get everybody's address from an email, put it into the computer, and then handwrite it all out. I'm just, with my day job and then doing this on the side and my family, I'm kind of worn out. So I just don't have the time to totally do all of that. If I had an assistant that would mail everything out and help me do the bookkeeping, then I probably would look at doing whatnot. The other issue with whatnot is I haven't figured out how you make any money from it. I'm not sure how people are making very much money off of that. To me, if you give you an example, if you're selling this gold coin on whatnot and you bought it for $2,000 and you can sell it now for $3,000, but your replacement cost is $3,000, you're not really making any money. You're going to just create a tax event for yourself. Now, if you bought this at $2,000, you can sell it at $3,000. You can buy it back at $2,700. Okay, well then you've got some margin that's built in there as you replace inventory. If I were able to buy a lot of coins at 5% back a spot and sell them at spot on whatnot, then there could be some money in there. But for right now, I just haven't found a way to do that to make it work. if I ever go full time with this, you know, we probably will look at doing some of that. I do enjoy it. Like doing the show itself would be fun. I don't have any problem with that. It's the back end stuff that kind of kills me. All right, let's see what else we got here. We got the Cranky Stacker in the house, and L is in the house. Michael Stacking, welcome guys. Craig, thank you for showing up. Let's see. So Stormy Gavin said, I just heard Switzerland just got hit with a 39% tariff on things, but didn't say. It includes gold. I think it's gold kilos and 100-ounce silver bars coming out of Switzerland. That is going to affect things, guys. A lot of the refined metals come out of there, like a very high percentage. That's not the right one. OC, if you sell my coin, I'm going to come wring your neck. Mr. and Mrs. West Texas Stacker, welcome, guys. Yeah, share this in your social media stuff so people find it, guys. We just want to grow the channel and help a lot of people out. I was talking to one of my friends that has a big XRP channel. You know, I don't do a ton of crypto, but I do some of it, and I only do it with projects that I believe in and that I understand from more of a banking perspective and where things are going. XRP is one that I do like, and I do have I have a decent amount of it. I don't have a ton, but when you look at things like XRP, and the people that are doing channels on that have a little bit of a different spin on things. But I was talking to him the other day on it. They're going to be doing a kind of a conference and symposium in Fort Lauderdale. And I'm looking to go do a show with Andy in January down in Fort Lauderdale at the end of the year. So that could be fun. We'll be talking about coins too there. All right, let's see. Prices are always going to go up and they're always going to go down. It's just going to keep fluctuating. I still hold firm that we're going to have $4,000 gold this year and $40 silver. It looks like we might hit the silver a little bit before we hit the gold. I do think silver is going to go way past 50. I would be very surprised if we don't see it in the 60 to 70 range next year. It could hit 100, but that's going to take a few things too. Yeah, like I was saying, it's 100-ounce silver and the kilo gold bars. So here's the thing. I mean, will they just start splitting it up and sending it out that way? They might. Then you might get smaller stuff. All right, what else we got here? It is. It's a pretty darn cool coin. So it's one that I will probably put up on eBay for a certain price, but I don't know if I want to actually really part with it. The other thing I'll tell you guys not to go after and get into these kind of things here, like an MS70 regular 10th ounce. Don't go get these. Now these I picked up for about the price of a regular one. If you can get them for that and they're 70s, great. You know, you got a deal. But I wouldn't go stack a bunch of these. There's no reason to have fractional in here unless it's a proof. I have a proof. Let's see. Yeah, I don't even have a proof in here. So when you don't have proofs, you know, you can just get these little capsules and put them in, and they work fine. Or you can just get them into, you know, a tube like this over here. But this is the link. So this is kind of the first one from the Toro. That's really cool. And I still have a bunch of these. You can't find these very much anymore. I think I'm the only one selling them on eBay. And so since I'm the only one that has them to sell, I've got those listed at 450. So I don't recommend you guys buy those. But, you know, he who holds the gold makes the rules is kind of how it goes. All right, let me see what else we got question-wise here for you guys. So you guys should go check out Sorcerer Stan too. He is always out there helping everybody's stuff. So I just want to thank you, Sorcerer Stan, for hanging out and coming in and being part of the community. So Kenshi is really a gold and silver bug in hiding behind all of his Bitcoin and his Lambos. Let's see. So they can go high, but I have to tell you, almost everything I've bought off of whatnot is below market price, way lower than eBay. I think you can get a lot of really good deals from there. It depends on the show. If you've got a lot of people in there and you're doing it off of stuff like this, I think you can end up getting more bang for your buck with those kind of things. And even maybe like dimes where it can run up a little faster. But these ancient coins, I usually see them going for hardly anything. It just kind of depends. All right, I want to try to get caught up with you guys. All right, you can email me, Kenshi. We can talk later. Yeah, groceries have gone through the roof, guys. They're crazy. And food's only going to get more expensive. So, good boy points. I think that's funny. All right. One of these days, we need to hear Chad pronounce his last name. I know that's not his real last name, but I want to hear how he pronounces that. I think that threw off Andy Schectman a while back. Hey, Space Miner, what's up? Good to see you. I don't know where the silver is. So I've got the matching set for the flaming hair. But I don't know where that one is. This is another really cool coin too, guys. Like, you can stack these, just don't overpay for them. But this is the $10 Indian. That's another really cool. All right. Let's see. Now, something I will tell you that's good is Costco is a good place to buy. You can buy gold like this from Costco. These are grams. And these break away individually. And they have all their serial numbers individually, which is pretty cool. But I picked some of these up with OC Stacker right before gold really started jumping. And I think we've already made like $500 on something like this. But these are good fractional. But usually for fractional, I don't go with gold. I stick with the silver stuff. Okay, one coin that's cool though, that you just have to buy it at the right time. Are eagles. You really can't go wrong with eagles, guys. So I picked these up for, I don't know, they were a really good price, but they weren't very much. But these are proof eagles. So I think I got these for $1 or $2 more than a regular silver eagle. And they're 69s. So, it's kind of fun to have them every once in a while. And it's about looking for deals. Look for deals. Don't overpay for this stuff. And then always test your coins, because this one isn't fake. But I've seen fakes look this good. I don't have my fakes in front of me. But I like the toning on this thing. It's really nice. So that's a cool coin. I don't use gloves because I don't believe in gloves. I just end up dropping the coins everywhere. So I don't do that. But I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you guys like to go after? What's your favorite coin? What's something that you avoid at all costs? All right. Kenshi, that's all I'm going to say. Oh, man. All right, let's see. So we had silver close at 38.37. That was pretty good, guys. I think we have a lot that's going to be going on with the metals here pretty soon. I think Trump's doing a lot of stuff. Yeah, Ron's a good guy. I mean, he's got his unicorn fart dust that's out there, and I know that's been kind of a hard struggle for him because he's trying to bridge the two worlds. A lot of times it doesn't really come together, so it could be a little trickier. Okay, let's hit this for a second from F37 Metal. Hey, Stacking Surfer, I heard from Clive Thompson and Mike Adams that if gold gets revalued to 15 or 20,000, that we could see $100 or $180 silver. Okay, I don't have the calculator in front of me. Let me see if I can pull one up on my computer here. Let's look at your numbers here. Let's look at 20,000 real quick. I think that's way conservative. I would say if we get to $20,000 gold revaluation, we're probably looking at $300 silver. And the reason I say that is because people are going to stop buying gold. I'm not paying 20 grand for that, unless all of a sudden my job starts doubling my pay or tripling my pay. So I'm going to stop buying this, and I'm only going to be buying silver. And if silver is sitting at $40 and this gets revalued to 20,000, I can tell you that I'm going to buy every bit of silver I can find, and that price is going to get driven up very quickly, fast. And I think you're going to end up seeing it going to probably a 60 or a 50 ratio, and that'll make it a lot more valuable. But I don't think 15 to 20,000 makes any sense for a revaluation. I think they're going to go for more like a $50,000 revaluation. But I don't think the $50,000 is going to be probably all at once. So they could first come out with a 10 or a 15, and then they could hit it at 20 to 25. They can go up to 30 to 40, and they can hit 50, and they can do them stepped up too. But 50,000 is 42 to 50,000. 42,000 to 50,000 is where you burn off all of the debt right now, minus the IOUs. I don't remember, L. I'd have to look at it in my sheet, but it's gone up quite a bit. And I was able to get 4% back on it too, which is great. Yeah, that's always the case, right? So the precious metals don't go up and down, priced in dollars. It's really the dollar continues to go down. The only time you see a real fluctuation in price is supply and demand, which really comes out in the premium. So if all of a sudden a bunch of new silver mines opened up and they started producing way more silver than they have in the past, you'll see price of silver come down even though the dollar hasn't gained strength. Same thing with gold. If all of a sudden, I don't know which country it was in Africa, said that they had 1 trillion ounces or whatever crazy thing story that comes out every year. If all of a sudden they had a ton more gold and it fled the market, you would see the price of gold go down even though the dollar wouldn't be strengthening. So that is true, but it's not 100% true. Yeah, so OC that's probably what the price was. I think we did on the same day. Yes and no. So if silver hits $100 and they have not printed any new money, a gallon of milk is still going to be about $3 to $4. If silver goes up to $100 an ounce because they've printed money, then your milk is going to be more expensive. but it may just be due to it being undervalued. And I don't know why everybody always says that. I think there's a big misconception in the community there that if your silver goes up to $300 or $1,000, it means that everything else went up. It's not necessarily true. It depends on why it went up. Silver is so manipulated. If the banks just stop manipulating silver, it should be around 1,000 today. 500 to $1,000, and we wouldn't have anything more expensive at the store. People just wouldn't be able to buy silver. So right now, I think it's on sale. Go get it. Like anything, I can't give you guys financial advice. I can just kind of share with you guys what I do. So I do have foreign gold. Like I don't have a lot of foreign gold. I have a little bit, and I'm waiting to kind of convert it. So like, what I mostly have are things like this, Krugerrands, right? So this is a 1980 Krugerrand. And these are all over the place. These are just like the Eagles 90% gold. I'm guessing silver's in there too, because it looks like about the same color. And I got to tell you, I don't like that color nearly as much as I like 24 karat gold. You guys can probably see the difference there. It just doesn't look as good. Now this is a proof, so it's going to be shinier. But a coin like this, you got to be careful with, because if you don't have a way of retail selling this down the road, you're really not going to get the benefit out of holding something like that long term. You'll pay too much in fees. All right, what else we got in here, guys? Yep, generics are good. Let's see. Yeah, I would keep cash too. So I'm also going to have a bunch of videos coming out with John Eric from Gorilla Pro Customs. He does the boxes, the holds, all this stuff. And they're pretty cool. They're really good SHTF boxes, and they'll hold cash, they'll hold silver, they'll hold gold, they'll hold your treasure or your other hardware wallets for crypto. They'll hold like a thumb drive. They could have pictures and other things on them. And you can put an Apple Air tag in them. And you can put that in your safe or somewhere else in your house, and it becomes something you can grab and take with you real quick if you need to, which can be pretty cool. Yeah, barber coins are good too. You just gotta make sure they're not too worn. Let's see what else you guys have in here. I have a lot of Aztecs. Aztecs are cool too. The only issue with Aztecs is in a silver round though, or bigger, some of the bigger sizes, is that you can't really, it doesn't tell you what it is. So that could be a little harder for barter, but they're great coins. Yeah, anybody that's telling you the price of silver on a certain day is just giving you a guess. No one knows. No one's got a crystal ball. If they did, they wouldn't be telling you, because they would corner the market. They'd have basically like a, what do you call it? A time machine or something, crystal ball. But they don't know. And we could easily see $60 to $100 silver before the year end too. That's also possible. Yeah, Kenshi, that's kind of funny. Everything's always on fire. So it would be okay. I don't think it'd be too bad. $200 silver wouldn't really mess with your solar panels much or your EVs. I think you'd be okay. $1,000 silver, that might start making things a little bit more expensive. But even at that, it's still not going to make it so that people stop using silver in solar panels or in electric cars. It just means the price is going to go up a little bit. It's just part of the components, right? You start getting into $5,000 or $10,000 silver, and if that were to happen without having inflation go up in price, then they would probably look to figure out a different metal, and they would cut down on the efficiency of batteries, and they might go with more copper or something else like that. But the market could still absorb that. I don't think that's going to be too bad, to be honest. Yeah. So here's the other thing. I think there's going to be a day, honestly, where people that have Bitcoin will be freaking out that they didn't buy silver. A lot of the people I know that have XRP do have a lot of silver, but I think silver is going way over $1,000 between now and 2030. I'm not buying it based on that, but I see a lot of indications that say that the market could they could lose control of it. We could have a financial reset to some degree. We could definitely have a revaluation of gold. Depending on how they do those revaluations, there'll be elements of inflation to it. But to say silver is not going to go up to 300 or $1,000, it's totally possible. Like, I think it's more possible for silver to go to $300 than it is for Bitcoin to go to $1 million in the next 4 years. And I think most people would disagree with that, or they'd be buying silver and they're not. But I do think it's very possible. It's been very manipulated. Usually you don't want to buy stuff that's at an all-time high. You want to buy stuff that's at a low. Okay, let's see what else we got here. States can do this and they can mint it. The question is going to be, when does the IRS go away, or when does it stop taxing things like crypto and gold and silver? So those are the things to kind of watch out for out there, because that could happen. I have a little bit of jewelry, like I've got my old wedding ring. This is the wedding ring I wear right now that's made out of tungsten. I lose these things surfing, a couple of them a year, because they're heavy, and when it's 55 degrees in the ocean and I forgot to take it off, the thing's going to slip right off my hand. But I'd love to have one of these made out of gold and silver. Would be cool. But my original wedding ring's gold, so I have that. My wife has her original wedding ring, and we've got like some pendants that have platinum coins on them. But I don't stack a lot of jewelry, but it is a good way to do it. It's a way that you can actually enjoy it and use it today, and then it's a way for you to carry it on you in case there's ever a situation where you need it. Now, if you can buy it for very inexpensive amounts of money, I think it's another great way to go, as long as you can verify it. Yeah, so there's gold backs that are all over the place out there. I've got gold backs that are sitting in a vault, and they earn a 3% yield right now. So that's one of the things that I'm just trying to get the links set up right, and I'll be doing some videos on that to show you guys how to do it. Is there third-party risk? Yep, there's third-party risk. There's risk that the gold back company stops making gold backs, and there's risk that the company that is lending the gold backs out to stores to use them, folds, and you may not be able to get all your money back. So anytime you earn a yield, including cash in the bank with a CD, it's the same thing. I think it's just about as risky to do that, which means it's a fairly low risk, but it's not a zero risk. But sometimes you need cash flow. Just having these sitting here do not pay the bills, right? And then if you sell it, you've got capital gains. All right, let's see what else we got. But I do like gold backs. There's a good use for them. So quick shout out to STFU and Stack Silver PMG for a $2 super chat. Thank you. Surfer, do you stack the Constitution of Silver? If you mean constitutional silver, I stack a lot of that. If you mean silver that is in the shape of the Constitution, no, I don't have that. So you'll have to verify what you mean by the Constitution of Silver. But I have I've got guardhouse box of dimes, quarters, and half dollars, and then a bunch of extra tubes, and I've got a bunch of blank tubes that I'm still working on filling. It's just hard to buy this stuff right now when I'm used to buying it at $18 per face, and it's way higher. So I'm kind of waiting to see what to do next there on where I'm going to buy it, and I usually just go off of whatever the deal is I can find. Let's see what else you got. So yeah, there's a guy I ran into in Hawaii on my last trip. I think I ran into him a couple trips before too. And all he does is he metal detects at the beach to find wedding rings, and then he has a website. He puts those up and gives people a couple, months to find them before he. I think he ends up melting them and donating the money. But people will pay him to go look for their wedding ring. So there's a lot of that. If I had more time, we would do more videos. I'd probably even go get a metal detector and do some of it myself. Living 10 minutes from the ocean, where it's cold, I guarantee you there's a lot of wedding rings lost. Yeah, I've got lots of 90. I don't do 40. I just don't want to mess with 40. It's too, a lot of people don't want it. But with that said, there's a great opportunity to pick up a lot of 40 right now because a lot of people don't want it. But I just don't want to deal with something that's that much, only has 40% in it. So I don't know what that reference is, but hey, if you tell us where people can get free gold backs, that'd be great. All right, metal constitutional silver voice texting it mixed my words up. Got it. Yeah, metal detector would be really fun. Wrong one there. It moved on me. Yeah, this is how it always feels, guys. It always feels like you're buying too high as the price goes up. So here's the real trick, right? Let me see if I can get a chart up for us. Give me a second here. I'm going to go to X to see if I can pull up a chart for you guys. Let's see if we can get a silver chart for us. Okay, I've got a couple here I'm going to show you. Just a second. All right, we'll do a couple fun pictures here. You guys like these? Let me just look for one more. Okay, this one I'll do for our purposes today. Okay, I'm gonna get my bookmarks going. All right, say goodbye to the gold there, guys. We're going to take that off. Just a second here. Oh, I guess you can see a little bit of gold down there. See if I can get this a little bigger for us. There we go. Okay. All right. If you guys want to follow the people on X, you'll see them over here to the right side. These are the posts that they put out. This is the 45-year cup and handle of silver. All right. So back here, you have the Hunt brothers, which really were manipulating it. So I don't look at that as a true high point in silver. You had 2011 here, where you had another high point up here. Okay. And now we're starting to see it break out again here. 39. It should go much higher than this. But when you see this big dip here, I don't anticipate we're going to see something like this again with silver for any kind of a period of time like this. One, we're using way more of it right now in technology. It's been very manipulated. And I think people are starting to wake up to that fact, and it hasn't been used as money for a long time, right? You're looking at basically 71 here, guys, when everything started falling apart. So I do think you're going to see silver go up, and I think you'll see it come back down over the next couple of years as it goes up and down and hits a new all-time high. So if we get up to $100 or $300 silver, I don't think it's going to stay there. I think it's going to come back down, but I don't think you're going to see $40 silver again once it gets to those levels. Oh, there's Ragnar. Okay. Well, let me show you the next one. I thought this was kind of funny. I just saw this as I was on here. It's kind of like the reaching to try to get the silver, right, guys? Like at some point, you're just not going to be able to afford it. That's going to happen with gold first, then it'll happen with silver. Here's another good thing just to point out that's very true. And I'm not going to beat up on crypto like a lot of channels do. But I am going to tell you that it's not the thing that I'm trying to hold my wealth in. It might be something that I use to increase my wealth. But crypto does require silver, but silver doesn't require crypto. Crypto also requires electricity in a device. Silver doesn't require either of those. And so you want to plan accordingly when you're stacking. This is Kevin from North Star Charts. You can see that he's got much higher targets after this at 100 plus. So this is kind of that target range he's looking at right now as silver's breaking out. And he's looking for it to go between 38 and 50 right now in this next run. And, you know, if you kind of look at where he's put the circle in here, he's kind of looking between now and, you know, in 2026 is where it's looking to kind of hit that. But if you see this curve line going up, the curve line should continue to hit it, and it will bounce off of that until it does a full breakout where it goes really high. All right, we'll come back to Q&A in just a second. Here's the last one I wanted to put up. Actually, I might put one more after this. But this is really what you're looking at is the gold and silver. So you can see the two running up here, and you can see that gold has run up quite a bit. This is a percentage perspective here. Let's see. The silver bull we're about to witness will last year's overshooting the gains from gold. So I think silver is, silver is this line here, the candles, and this is the line of gold going up in, I don't know, it's some ratio of USD here. But what he's trying to show you guys here is look at how much silver shot over gold here, how much silver shot over gold here. Same thing's going to happen here. It's going to go a lot higher. If you guys are looking for mines, Don Durant's a good guy to follow. I do cover and show you guys the mining stocks I'm in. I do follow Don too. He's got some good stuff. But I thought this was kind of a cool post. He basically said, if you're rich, put 100,000 on each of these. Otherwise, you know, do accordingly. But he's expecting these to keep going up until you hit 5,000K gold or even 10,000K gold. And I would say he's probably a little under it on the 5,000. He's probably closer to the 10,000. Maybe we get up to 12 or 15,000 on this bull cycle. But here's a handful of stocks, and he's looking to see that these would probably go double or triple. And that is pretty darn good for that. And so when people, you know, say gold and silver is not going to help you at all, that's not totally true. There was this Fed note too that came up about gold reserve revaluations. So I think that's kind of interesting. And then here's another stock that's been doing really well for me is Hecla. And it looks like it's about to break out of a 55-year resistance. Okay. So that's Kevin from North Star. Now, if you guys have not signed up for Kevin's service yet, I'm going to put out a post today. But if you scan this QR code here, there's no benefit that comes to my channel, by the way. But I think there's a big benefit to you guys if you're following and you're doing, say, trading, or you need to know closer where the price is because there's a fee to it. This will give you 50% off of his charts. So I'd go take a look at that and consider signing up for that. Okay, let's remove that one down. I won't do that. Okay, cool. All right, well, let's, I just want to see if you guys had any other quick comments here real fast. I think he's going to have to do it at some point. So this will be the last thing I'll lay for you guys tonight. We're not in a position where we can, as a country, pay off the debt. That's not going to happen. And so we're going to continue to print money. And right now, if you want to look at it, the reason that a lot of the crypto exists out there is it's going to be kind of the new bonds. It's going to suck up all of this extra money printing that goes on. It's going to be going into the crypto market. Some of the money from the stock market is already starting to filter into gold right now, and then it'll probably filter into silver. But a lot of the cash is going into Tether, and then it's going into Bitcoin. So I think you're going to continue to see Bitcoin go up. I think you're going to continue to see gold and silver go up as well. But as far as backing goes, there's going to be a day where we've printed too much money and no one will take your fiat dollars for Bitcoin anymore. When that happens, you're going to be in a position where our dollars are no good anymore. And at that point, they're going to need to go and back it with gold. And so I think that's what they're going to do. And when you understand that, you also understand that they can't use Bitcoin to back up the money. It doesn't work that way. They also can't use Bitcoin for money because it can take 20 minutes and like $20 to do a transaction. So it's not set up for that. But anyway, thank you guys for coming. And until next time, peace out and have a great weekend. See you guys.